Let's talk today about the vintage 2019, which is really a remarkable vintage if you compare the other vintages finishing by 9, like 1999 or 2009. It's interesting to compare this vintage. The vines have started early, as the climate was really cool during this winter, and then the beginning of spring was quite really cold, and then it has started to really slow a little bit, to relax a little bit, and we had a quite bad flowering, if I remember well. So that means this flowering has affected the yields, you know. We had a lot of egg and chicken and bad flowering, so the yields have gone down, especially for the Chardonnay. But then summer has gone very well with a very dry vintage, I would say, 2019. And we had a lot of wind as well, so which didn't help a lot for the yields. And then late August, many vines have started to have a lack of water due to heat and dryness as well. So it was really spectacular to see some vineyards beginning to turn yellow sometimes. But hopefully the vintage was not that early. We have started to really harvest around the 10th of September, which is a normal date for Burgundy, with a perfect conditions about the grapes. You know, zero botrytis. You know, the grapes came in the winery with a really beautiful condition.
Because of this really dry summer, we had very low yield in the white wine. We were very surprised of the alcohol potential. Surprisingly, we picked some aligoté around 14 degrees of alcohol, which is quite rare in Burgundy. On the second hand, we were very surprised of the freshness and the pH of all the white wine, which give to the finished wine a great balance. For the reds, we got average yield, not crazy like 2018, but sufficient. To keep a good freshness, we add a little bit more of whole cluster during the winemaking. For the red and the whites, the fermentation went pretty smoothly. As you know, we are not adding any sulfites in our red wine since the vintage 2018, and we succeed to do it again in 2019 during all the winemaking. For the aging, we age all the whites in demi-muit, so 450 liters barrels. And for the red, we use a traditional barrel in Burgundy, the 228 liters. For this vintage, we did 3 bottling sessions. One during the summer of 2020 for the regional wine, another one at the beginning of winter 2021 for a big part of the reds and some of the white, and finally in end of March, beginning of April, the rest of the white. As you know, we tend to respect the 2 winters in barrels to keep the freshness and the length of all white wine. With this vintage comes some new appellation, very exciting addition to our range. We have Fissin Blanc 2019, we have also 2 new Chambolle Premier Cru, Chambolle Premier Cru Les Feuslottes and Chambolle Premier Cru aux Échanges. And finally, we have Gevrey Premier Cru Les Cherbaudes. We are thrilled to present you this new vintage. We really hope you will love it as much as we do.
From my point of view, 2019 is really a dream vintage, and trust me, I would love to sign every single vintage for that kind of vintage, because it was an easy vintage from the vineyard point of view, and it was an easy vintage as well from the fermentations and the winemaking process point of view. And 2019s are going to provide a huge pleasure in the next 10, 20 or 30 years without any hesitation.